So, alrighty, so let's dive in. Welcome to all of you. I'm glad you're here. My name is Laura Garrison-Brook, and we have been working through the 9 contemplations of Atisha. And for those of you who aren't part of Circle yet, I posted the link to this document in Circle, which is Yoga and Life Talk with Laura. So if you want to print off the PDF so you can follow along, I've given you the link to do that. And we are on contemplation number 6, which is your body is fragile and vulnerable. Okay, so let's come to the head of the mat. See, there's the melt ball. It's just like a bouncy ball. It's just like a rubber ball, but it's got the right firmness so that you can really get into the fascia that enrobe the muscles. So coming to the head of the mat, grabbing your blocks so that the blocks will be easily accessible. And again, this contemplation, which is contemplation number 6, is your body is fragile and vulnerable. And I want us to really love on our bodies today, okay? Recognizing them as our most constant companion, this cherished partner of ours, plugging the feet down into the earth, palms shine forward. So for those of you who have been practicing with me for a while, you might remember we did a series on the koshas. Inhale those arms out and up, reach up, lift up. The koshas in Sanskrit, kosha means sheath. Exhale those hands down the midline. And the outermost sheath, you can kind of think of it as like layers of an onion, is the Ana Maya Kosha. Ana Maya Kosha. We're exhaling the hands down. Really feeling into the feet. Inhale, lift up. Beautiful. Urdhva Hastasana. Stretch up. Feel the body long, shoulders roll down the back. Another breath. And then swan dive forward. So our Anamaya Kosha is our physical body, right? And this contemplation is our physical body is fragile and vulnerable, okay? Head hangs heavy, and then just gently sway back and forth. And Joan Halifax writes, when you're young, you may feel as if you will live forever. Growing older, seeing other people die, you may know differently, right? Head just hangs heavy, tailbone rises up. And you know, inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. I think that this is true for both boys and girls. Step that right leg back. The number 1 cause of death, woo. I finally looked over and it was like, okay. Stepping that right leg back, hands frame the foot. I'm charging the iPad a little bit, so I'm not plugged in yet from the mat. Pouring energy down that right leg. Left knee's right over the ankle. Breathing here. And then soften that knee, low runner's lunge. So the leading cause of death for boys for sure, possibly girls as well, are accidents. Right? Because there's this sense of invulnerability. So teenagers go out and do some crazy stuff. Gosh, love them. Let those hips just release down, relax down. So Joan Halifax writes, life hangs by a breath. So with this knowledge, breathe in and exhale. Let the hips release down. Exhale it back. Toes rise up. So inhaling, then exhale. And just imagine that with this exhale, there's no further inhale. And if you'd like, you can even hold the breath, retain the breath out, bringing the hips forward. Curl the toes under. Right toes curled under, right hand on the mat, and just unwind the spine, turning to the left. Breathing here. So what's interesting is that, and there's a fair amount of work that was done on this in the James Nestor book, Breath, which quite a few of us talked about a lot in, what was it, March or April. Ground those hands and step it back. James Nestor talks about how as carbon dioxide builds up in our blood, we naturally panic. It's totally involuntary, which is really fascinating. Tailbone rises up and the head hangs heavy. So much, we can do this cerebral, this psychological work around contemplating death, but there's also the reality of our body, the way our body is wired, right? Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Inhale, lift. Our body is wired to survive. Exhale, arch. Before there were even Homo sapiens, we had this limbic center, the part of our brain, which is older than humanity. It evolved in mammals 200 million years ago. And our limbic center is all about keeping us alive, protecting us. Walking those hands forward, curl the toes, lift the hips. Walk your dog out. So as we're doing this work, thinking about the vulnerability, the fragility of our body, thinking about this psychologically, our body, the limbic center, and particularly, is wired to survive, to fight for life. Breathing. Step the right foot forward. Right knees right over the ankle, hands frame the foot, shoulders down the back. Pouring energy out that left heel. And then drop that knee down, low runner's lunge. Allow the hips to relax. So Joan Halifax says, this life is so fragile and is completely dependent on my breath. Set the hips back. Breathing in, my life depends on this inhalation. Breathing out, my life depends on this exhalation. Inhale it forward. Can you allow yourself to really know that your life is hanging by a breath? Inhalation, my life depends on this breath. Exhalation, my life depends on this out breath. Connecting here to the fact the body is vulnerable and fragile. Inhaling, my life depends on this in-breath, coming forward, right knees over the ankle, hips release down. One more time, exhale it back, toes rise up. My body depends on this out breath. Inhale forward. Left hand comes down, right hand onto the knee, twisting it open to the right. Breathing here, hips are heavy. Shoulders relax down. Breathing here. Another breath. Curl the toes under and come on back, down dog. The beating of your heart The activity of your brain gives life to your life. Walking your dog out, settling one heel down and then the other. Head hangs heavy. Plugging the hands into the earth. Glide those shoulders apart. Press the hands into the mat as if you're elongating the spine. Glide the heels down. Another breath. And then come forward into your plank pose, feeling heat building in the belly. A heart attack or stroke can bring you down in an instant. An accident, a moment of violence, a mistake can bring your life to a surprising and rapid end. Another breath. And come on down, knees, chest, chin. And as I've said with every class, grounding the hips. These contemplations might hit us in tender places. So if there's something where you really start feeling yourself, go ahead and swim your cobra around as if you're drawing an infinity symbol with the nose. Going back and forth. Infinity symbol is like the number 8 laying on its side. So just breathing here into the neck. Breathing into that sense that we are infinite. Exhale the head down. Anamaya Kosha is the focus today, our physical health, our physical self. Elbows lightly bent. Breathing into our Bhujangasana. Exhale down. But the whole thing about the koshas is about going in and in and in order to connect to our cosmic self. Walk your dog out. Head hangs heavy. Tailbone rises up. Rolling the head on the neck. And as we do this work, recognizing that the body, as it ages, will continue to fade, right? Floating that right leg back and up. Stretch it up. Reach it up. And step it forward. Coming into your Vira 1. Take your time. Set your feet. Hips are squared forward. And I'm going to read you some words from Eckhart Tolle in a minute, which I think are really well suited to this contemplation. Breathing here in your Vira 1. Beautiful open heart. Step off onto that right foot, coming up into your Backhasana. And then exhale, maybe just a little bit of a bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, float down just a little bit. Good focus gaze. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale and bring that left knee up into the heart. Another breath. And then the knee goes out to the side, right arm stretches out to the side. This is prep for Supta Padangusthasana. Not Supta, Padangusthasana. Step it back. Supta is the one that's on your back. This is just hand to toe pose. Inhale, lift up into your Vira 1. Breathing here. And then take your clasp behind your back. Open the heart. Opening your heart to your love of this body. Your gratitude for this body. Recognizing that it is fragile. And while it has been your constant companion to date, exhale over the leg. There will be a time when this body will no longer be with you. So isn't it better for us to love it now? Inhale, lift back up into your Vira 1 with Yoga Mudra arms. And then release those arms and float on up. Vira 1. And then come forward. Feel your belly strong as you lean forward. Chest is up. Breathing into the strength of the back body. Breathing into the strength of those glutes. And then inhale, lift it up. And hands come down either side of the foot. Walk your dog out. Tailbone rises up, head hangs heavy. And then come down into your child's pose and remember our mantra. My life depends on this in-breath. My life depends on this out-breath. You're down in child's pose. And with child's pose, remember that you can put your head on a block, okay, however you need it. But it's very sweet to have the forehead on a block or on the mat. Maybe if you don't have a block, you can stack your fists one on top of the other. So Eckhart Tolle, breathing here in your child's pose, he talks about the form and the formless, with the formless being our cosmic self, right? The form being our body. And in A New Earth, he writes, as the body begins to weaken, the formless dimension, the light of consciousness can shine more easily through the fading form. Breathing here into that knowledge. And walk the hands up. Plug the hands in, curl the toes. Settle those heels down. So remember, we've talked a lot over our studies together. Head just drops down. Float that left leg back and up. If you like your three-legged dog, we're going to do that same flow on the other side. Having faith in the universe, in Prakriti, right? The quantum realm. Setting your feet. Inhale, lift. Having this general sense that the universe has got my back. When something happens in my life, it's the universe doing this for me. Breathing here in your Vera 1. Open the heart, stretch it up. And then step off onto that left foot, coming into your Backhasana. So, thinking about it, the shift, right? If we really lean into Eckhart Tolle's words, knowing, so we're floating up, straighten that leg a little bit, and then exhale, just a tiny bit of a squat. It's balanced on one foot. You might find this is harder on one side than the other. I'm wiggling around on the left. So we're inhaling up, and we're exhaling down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. And then bring the knee in. Good focus, gaze. Hug that knee in. And then the right knee goes off to the side. Left arm stretches out to the left. This is prep for our Padangusthasana. And then step that foot back. So think about this shift, okay? So my body is naturally, going to start to fade. And Eckhart says that, as our bodies fade, as the form fades, our formless can shine through, right? Breathing here. And then reach back and clasp your yoga mudra. Maybe change your clasp. It's going to feel weird, just like we did yesterday. So that the opposite finger, for me now it's my left, is the finger that's on top of the right. And breathe here into your yoga mudra. Still in Vera 1 legs. And then you can fold forward into your humble warrior with your hands clasped. If that works for you. If it doesn't, release the clasp. Another breath. And float on up. Release the clasp. Arms reach up. And then come forward, hinging forward. We're not laying the belly on the thigh. We're just leaning forward, firing up the left glute, firing up the strength in the belly, firing up the erector spinae, the muscles that run along the spine at the back body. And then inhale, lift. And hands come down either side of the foot. Walk your dog out. So in this regard, if we witness our body's dissolution, our body fading as we age, is part of our spiraling in and in and in, right? Remember Anamaya Kosha, the physical body, coming down into child's pose. And breathing here. My life depends on this in-breath, inhaling. My life depends on this out-breath, exhaling. So we have our Anamaya Kosha, our physical body, our Pranamaya Kosha, our energetic body, Manomaya Kosha, which is the mind body. Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is the wisdom body. And then the innermost sheath. Go ahead and start wiggling it out. Maybe roll the head back and forth on the mat or on your block. Wiggling those hips back and forth. The innermost sheath, Ananda Maya Kosha. Ananda, bliss, the bliss body. Right? And how amazing if, plug those hands in, we could realize that the universe is part of our evolution, supporting our evolution. Has this set up in a way that as our body fades, as our body slows, breathing here, floating that right leg back and up, stretch it up, roll that right foot on the ankle, and bring that leg forward. Coming into your Vira 1, lift it up. As our body slows, this is the universe inviting us to become more and more introspective. Focus more and more on the formless, in the words of Eckhart Tolle, stepping off onto that right foot. Both hands come down. Now, if you have your blocks, and this is better for you, grab those blocks. Put them however you need them, right? Coming into your standing split. Okay, folding over that leg. Hands still down, come into your Jiva squat. And inhale, lift. And exhale. So recognizing that this life cycle is set up in a way that helps you connect more and more. Exhaling down into your Jiva squat, tucking the left knee behind that bent right knee. And then inhale that leg up. And exhale, squat. Inhale it up. And then step it back. Vira 1, float it up. Breathing here. Step off into your Vira 3. Arms can go back like airplane wings. Breathe and keep that left hip down. And then the right hand comes down and open it up into your balancing half moon. Grab your block. Do what you need to do to have this pose suit you. Remember, this pose is in service to you. You are not in service to this pose. Bend that leg. So if you need to modify it, modify it. If you don't like it, don't do it. Bending that front knee. Inhale, lift, Vira 1. Open that heart up. Beautiful heart. And hands come down. Stepping back into your down dog. And then come on down into child's pose. Let's plug into. All right. Breathing here. Oh, Christine, I'm so sorry. Just reading it. That you lost your nephew in a crazy accident. I'm so sorry. Wiggle it out. Letting those hips release down, relax down. Another breath. And then come forward, plug the hands in, curl the toes, and walk your dog out. And then flip that left leg back and up, stretch it up, reach it up. Breathing here. And step it forward, coming into your Vira 1. Set your feet, take your time, flow down up. You know, and especially with Western culture, where we venerate the young, right? We're always chasing the wrinkle reducers, the, medical treatments, the exercises that make us look young, make us look vigorous, make us look strong. Breathing here. And think about this. This is us shoveling against the tide. Stepping off onto that left foot. Coming into, I lost it for a minute, y'all. What did we go do first? We did standing split. Did we do standing split? I think we did standing split first. Yeah, we did. So hands come down into your standing split. Remember, put your hands on blocks if that works better for you. Keep that left hip back, right hip squared, and then sit down into your Jiva. Jiva squats. Inhale, lift it up. And you'll feel, if you're like me, you'll feel that one side, there's a good chance one side will be require more effort than the other. This is my weaker side. So I can feel my left leg chirping more than my right leg was chirping. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. So we set ourselves up into this denial of the fact that our bodies will fade. We're fighting, right? Rather than just breathing, recognizing that this is the way life unfolds. It's a beautiful process, especially if you embrace breathing here into this Vira 1. Stepping off into your Vira 3, arms go back like airplane wings. Especially if you breathe into this belief, left hand comes down in your Ardha Chandrasana, stack the right hip on top of the left. Open it up. Breathing here. Breathing in your Vira, in your Ardha Chandrasana, your balancing half moon. And then step it back. Floating those arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Opening the heart. And hands come down. Plugging those hands in, walk your dog out. Head hangs heavy. Heels come down, tailbone rises up. So if we breathe into this knowledge that the fading of the form allows us to connect more deeply with the formless, the Anandamaya Kosha, our bliss body, our Atman, our Jiva. Atman, which is the soul, the eternal self, till one rises up. And then widen those knees, touch the toes, sit back. Arms reach forward, palms are up. The life of my body lies on this in-breath, inhaling. The life of my body relies on this out-breath, exhaling. Another few breaths. Sending love, sending compassion, sending kindness to this fragile, vulnerable body that we inhabit, knowing that this body will not be with us forever. There will be a moment at our death where we will say goodbye to this body. So sending it gratitude, sending it compassion. Come on up, plug the hands in, curl the toes, lift the hips. Tailbone rises up and the head hangs heavy. And flip that right leg back and up. Stretch it up, reach it up. And step it forward. And inhale, lift into your warrior one. And step off onto the right foot. Again, bringing the knee into the chest, the left knee into the chest, and then the knee out to the side. Right arm stretches out to the right. And your choice, you can bring your peace fingers to your big toe on the left side, and you can kind of frog that foot up, okay? This is Padangusthasana. And if you'd like, just try to straighten that leg. Give it a go. And imagine that you're standing on a phantom leg. Beautiful focused gaze. Another breath. And then bring that knee in and step it back. Vira one. Open the heart up. And hands come down. Walk your dog out. Tailbone rises up and the head hangs heavy. Another breath. And then the left leg reaches up, stretches up, and step it forward. And lift up. Coming into your Vira one, breathing here. My life depends on this in-breath, inhaling. Then step off onto that left foot. My life depends on this out breath, exhaling. Shoulders are down the back. Hug that right knee in. And then the knee goes out to the side as the left arm reaches out to the left. And then your choice, if you want to take your peace fingers around your big toe, you can also grab a strap. Put it around the sole of the foot. And if you want to try to straighten that leg, give it a go. Wee. And if you're like me and you just bobble, it's all good. It's all good. Come back. Come back to it. Good focused gaze. Breathing. Imagining that leg. This phantom leg you're standing on. And then step it back. It's all good. When we bobble, when we kind of fall around, just, breathe. Imagine your breath going into the back of the brain, the cerebellum. Reaching up Hands come down. Cerebellum is where our balance lives. And as we age, our cerebellum naturally weakens. Right? It's part of our fragility and vulnerability of our body. But we can work on it. Doing these balance poses strengthens our cerebellum, strengthens our balance. Come on down, widen the knees, touch the toes, sit back. Child's pose. Breathing here into this knowledge that the body is vulnerable and fragile. You know, and as we talked about yesterday, inhale, lift up, and come onto the back body. We're going to continue to kind of slow things down. So if you're like me and you're feeling a little cool, grab your sweatshirt or whatever. And I invite you also to grab your strap if you've got one. If you don't have one, you can use your sweatshirt, you can use a long sleeve shirt, you can use a bathrobe tie, you can use a towel, you can use whatever. And we come on to our back body. We'll do our Supta Padangusthasana since we did our Padangusthasana as our balancing pose. So we're going to take our strap, whatever it might look like, and bring that leg up. Now if you have a tweaky low back, I invite you to bring the sole of the left foot onto the earth. And then wrap the strap or sleeves or whatever it is in the hand. So there's not a lot of effort in gripping the strap. And draw that right leg in. And for those who've been practicing with me for a while, I invite you, for everyone I invite you, but you know that I've been talking about how an anterior tilt of the pelvis is important for us to really get the most juice out of this pose. So what that means is we want to kind of poke the tailbone down. And as you do this, you'll notice that you'll get lighter through the back waist, right? Right around the belt line, you'll kind of get a little bit of a lumbar curve to the spine, and your belt line will get light on the mat. And if you want to play with this, you can kind of let the belt line go back down, and you'll feel how, from a hamstring standpoint, like I just totally lost the engagement in the belly, the middle of the hamstrings, when I let my tailbone roll up. But when I grow my tailbone down, it's like, there it is, right? There it is. Breathing into the middle of the hamstrings. Leg is straight. Draw the leg in. So as you make that anterior tilt to the pelvis, your leg will probably float away from you, and that's totally fine. Because you're getting into the hamstring at that sweet spot where we need to stretch it open. And then take your IT band stretch, coming across the body at a diagonal. You'll feel that zing. That's also your piriformis. Zing, zing. My life depends on this in-breath, inhaling. And again, draw the legs just straight in. My life depends on this out-breath, exhaling. And release the strap. And extend the leg long. Hands, palms down, soft on the belly. And breathe into the length of that leg. Shoulders down, roll the shoulders down. Chin comes down towards the chest, and just feel how beautiful that leg feels. Breathing into the sole of the right foot. Breathing into the tingling, the length of the right leg. Another breath. My life depends on this in-breath. Inhaling. My life depends on this out breath. Exhaling. And then change sides. And as I was saying, wrapping the strap around the hands. If you've got a tweaky low back, bend the right knee so the sole of the right foot comes onto the floor. And as you draw this leg in, we grow the tailbone down. Back waist is light. Breathing into the hamstring. So as I was saying, these contemplations, while they can feel pretty tender, maybe make you feel pretty vulnerable, at the heart of it, we want these to be life-affirming. So yes, the body is vulnerable. Yes, the body is fragile. And yet here we are. Here we are. Isn't that amazing? Here we are breathing into these beautiful bodies of ours, appreciating, knowing that nothing is guaranteed. Drawing that leg in. Keep growing the tailbone down, light back waist. Breathe into the middle of that hamstring. Those hamstrings. And then come across on a diagonal. So just, rather than feeling grim or hopeless or scared, just breathe into this incredible gift. This gift of life, the gift of this body. Stop using your life as a waiting room. Right? And then bring that leg back directly overhead. Grow the tailbone down. Draw the leg in closer. And then extend that leg down. And come on into your Shavasana. Whatever it looks like. Listening to the body. If you have 2 blocks, maybe you want to take a reclining cobbler, which is when you bring the soles of the feet together. Get your blocks underneath your knees and let those knees fall open. Or you can just take traditional Shavasana with the feet flopped open, the hands alongside the body, palms up. Or maybe it's more comfortable for you to rest on your side, rest on the couch, do legs up the wall pose, whatever suits you. Close the eyes and just flow with the breath. My life relies on this in-breath. My life relies on this out-breath. So we've been quoting Rumi as we've been walking through this. And the quote that I continue to come back to is, our death is our wedding with eternity. Spiraling inward, going back to the cosmic self. And Rumi continues, death has nothing to do with going away. The sun sets, the moon sets, but they are not gone. also says, "This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief." And that's what yoga is about, right? Living an illuminated life. It's about us waking up to our truth, waking up to what's real. And breathing here. Letting go of our fascination, our fixation on the form, on this body, on what it looks like, on how much it weighs, on how it compares to others. The formless, our inner light, our inner soul. That's where the magic is. And as this form fades, the formless can shine through more and more brightly. So as you're ready, bringing movement back into the body. Continuing to send this body gratitude. Sending this body love just as it is. This body that has served you so faithfully. Gently moving it in a way that feels good to you. And then rolling over onto the right side with no sense of hurry. And gently pressing yourself up into an easy seat. And bringing the hands to the heart space, rubbing the palms together. Placing the right hand on top of the heart, the left hand on top of the right. Feeling your heart beating. This vulnerable, fragile heart of ours. Knowing that there will be a moment in the future where it will stop. And you will say goodbye to this body. Taking a nice big inhale as we Om out together.